Is Grants Pass the most charming river town in all of Oregon? Come with me and let's find out. Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Daniel Buffano, a real estate broker and team leader for the Buffano Home Team at RE/MAX Integrity, located here in Grants Pass, and I make new videos all about living in Southern Oregon, so make sure you subscribe and hit the notification button to make sure you don't miss any great content. Today we are talking about what it's like living in my hometown, which is thought to be one of the most charming river towns in all of Oregon. Welcome to Grants Pass. Yes, we will talk a little bit about the real estate market, but we will mostly talk about the river and all the various things to do, places to eat, and different events that go on throughout the year, plus much more. So the first thing you might be asking is, where in the heck is Grants Pass anyway? Grants Pass is just a short 50-mile drive north from the California border and sits right off of Interstate 5, which is not only easy access south towards Medford, but also north towards Eugene and Portland. US Route 199 also meets up with Interstate 5, which is where you can take a gorgeous 2-hour drive through the Illinois Valley and out towards the coast to Crescent City and Brookings, if you want to spend a little beach time on the weekend. In fact, one of my favorite things about living in Grants Pass is how easy it is to get just about anywhere. I mentioned the beach being only 2 hours away, well, so is Crater Lake National Park. And if you enjoy skiing and or snowboarding in the winter, Mount Ashland is an easy 1.5-hour drive to the south. Plus, there are many other lakes, rivers, hiking trails, and waterfalls that are outside of Grants Pass, but all easy driving distance. But let's get back to Grants Pass real quick, because the outdoor recreation surrounding the Rogue Valley is probably a topic for another video. So true to its motto, it's the climate, Grants Pass is known for its mellow and enjoyable 4 seasons. To be honest, summer can be a little brutal for me personally, but days are typically sunny, dry, and hot with an average temperature of about 90 degrees. Temperatures will occasionally touch triple digits, however, not often, and it's manageable heat compared to summers in the desert. Winters, on the other hand, are cool and fairly rainy, and occasionally we will get a good amount of snow. Grants Pass itself averages about a little over 30 inches of rain per year, which is far less than our northern counterparts of Eugene and Portland. But since we're talking about the weather, truly my favorite time of year is the fall, when the mornings are cool and crisp and temperature rises to an average of about 70 to 80 degrees in the day. But the best part about the fall is that's when we start to see all the beautiful fall colors pop out, and let me tell you, it's truly spectacular. So now that we've discussed location and climate, let's get into what truly makes Grants Pass special. The biggest attraction for people to live and visit in Grants Pass, and obviously the main topic of our video, is the Rogue River, which starts near Crater Lake National Park and stretches about 215 miles through the middle of Grants Pass and out to the Oregon coast, where in Gold Beach it runs right into the Pacific Ocean. Famous for its salmon runs, whitewater rafting, and rugged scenery, it is the section of the river that runs through Grants Pass that makes it so enjoyable for almost anybody. A pretty calm section of the river, you can often find a number of activities and events going on throughout the year, all centered around the river. Summertime, you'll find families and groups of people floating and rafting from the various parks and launch points, or if that's not your flavor and you need something a little bit more exhilarating, you can always try the Hellgate Jet Boat Excursion, which takes you on a family-friendly, high-speed trip down the wild and scenic portion of the river to the Hellgate Canyon and back to the exclusive Hellgate River Lodge, where you can enjoy brunch or dinner with all your friends. It's something I've done just about every year since I've been here, and trust me, it's awesome every time. And of course, you don't have to be on the river to enjoy it, because there are several parks and recreation areas alongside the river. Plus, you have events such as Boatnik, where you can watch the jet boat races from the shore while enjoying the carnival at Riverside Park, and many other activities around town. In addition to Boatnik, there are several events throughout the year that are just good old-fashioned fun, such as Back to the 50s, which is a week-long celebration culminating in one of Oregon's largest classic car cruises. Other annual events include the Wild Rogue Balloon and Kite Festival, which is personally one of my favorites, Art Along the Rogue, and Porch Fest, which attracts local musicians to play on front porches of all the historic homes that surround Long Ridge Park. And in the fall, Fort Vanoy Farms opens their annual pumpkin patch and haunted corn maze with other fun attractions such as the cow train, the pumpkin chunker, and a petting zoo. It is something you and the family won't want to miss. In addition to these and other awesome annual events, there are also activities that happen on a more regular basis, such as First Friday, which is a monthly celebration that takes place in our vibrant downtown area where our retailers, galleries, and restaurants host special creative pursuits such as musicians and artists for all the public to enjoy. And then there is always the fun Saturday Growers Market and Crafters Market, which allows for local farmers and other vendors from around the Rogue Valley to sell their products to members of our community. And if you like a little more excitement, the Grants Pass Downs offers live horse racing in a family-friendly, fun, and safe venue at the Josephine County Fairgrounds. Okay, let's stop for a minute because I can imagine that some of you, like me, like to venture outdoors away from crowds of people, and trust me, there's plenty of that to do here too. Fishing, rafting, hiking, mountain biking, off-roading, dirt biking, you name it, chances are we have something for you. There are more rafting and fishing guide services in this town that you could shake a stick at, and I think it's obvious by now that this town lives off of the river. But what about everything else, you ask? Well, there are thousands of acres worth of government land all over the Rogue Valley, and with hundreds of miles of BLM roads and trails to go with it. In town, however, the most popular place for a casual outdoor adventure is Cathedral Hills. This is a 10-mile trail system, which is a haven for hikers, mountain bikers, horseback riders, and trail runners, and it's located just minutes from downtown Grants Pass. The trails loop through 400 acres of Doug fir and ponderosa pine forests and provide views of the Rogue Valley and surrounding mountains, which is probably why it's so popular. But in addition to Cathedral Hills, there are several other places for outdoor recreation, such as the Reinhardt Volunteer Park, which has areas for picnicking, fishing, soccer, volleyball, basketball, and even more walking trails, with one that includes a bridge that goes right over the river. So now that we've covered the river and all the number of things to do and places to go, I think it's time to mention a few of my favorite places to eat, because anyone who knows me knows that I love food, and so local cuisine is always important to me no matter where I go. I personally have a few favorites, but I think it's worth mentioning River's Edge and Tap Rock because they're both right on the water. River's Edge is more fine dining with a more expensive price tag, and Tap Rock is more family-friendly fun that includes a beautiful venue overlooking the water, but it's a little easier on the pocketbook for sure. Personal favorite of mine is the Weekend Beer Company, and it's not just because they're a great line of beers, but they also have a line of food trucks which include Catalyst Pizza, which is where you get your pizza and other Italian-inspired dishes, and then there's also Taco Mania, which, you guessed it, is for tacos. But you can't miss Valentino's for the most amazing burgers and sandwiches. And last but not least, there's Wheelhouse Coffee, which serves the most delicious craft coffee all throughout the day. You gotta try their affogato, by the way. Pro tip. Our downtown area also has various options as well, which include the Bohemian, the Laughing Clam, the Horny Goat, the Hall, Carson's Bistro, Twisted Cork, and many others. If breakfast or brunch is your thing, then I suggest you check out Mimosas, but I will warn you, there will most definitely be a wait unless you get there early, so be prepared for that, but you won't be disappointed once you get your meal. So I told you that we would discuss the real estate market, and so we shall. First thing I should mention about Grants Pass, which heavily affects the real estate market, is that this is mainly a retirement community. What that means exactly is that we get a lot of buyers that come from out of the area after they've sold their home and retired in other states and are looking for that special retirement home. Why that makes such a difference is that those people drive up prices on homes because one, they can afford them, and two, because they can usually get a lot more for their money than they could where they came from. For instance, the average price for a residential home in 2021 was just over $425,000, which for someone coming from the Bay Area, for example, is minuscule compared to what they were paying before. The challenging part of this, and the reason why a lot of locals think our prices are expensive, is that the average price of a home is a bit greater than what the average household income can afford. With that being said, in the last few years, with interest rates at all-time lows, we've seen a lot more in-town move-up buyers selling their homes and trading up for bigger ones, or using their equity gain to buy homes with lesser payments. Overall, the real estate market is really strong here, with it still being a very desirable place to live, and we could get into a deep dive on that subject, but I think it's also a topic for another video. So as we are wrapping up, the first question I asked you at the start of this video was if Grants Pass was the most charming river town in all of Oregon, and I have one more bit of evidence for you. Now, according to the Webster Dictionary, the word charming is described as an extremely pleasing or delightful. Now, in my opinion, I find Grants Pass incredibly pleasing and delightful for all the reasons I have just discussed in this video. But more importantly, I believe that its charm comes from the incredible people that live and work here in this community. We truly have some of the nicest, most generous people I have ever met in my life, and you can tell by the amount of volunteer work and programs that go on all throughout the year that benefit the community and those who live here. It is not something you notice by just passing through, of course. You'd have to live here to experience it for yourself. But the neat thing is that when you get involved and contribute back to this community, it actually comes back to you tenfold. This is something I've experienced on numerous occasions while living here and have not experienced it in any other place. It also seems that through talking with other people that they've experienced the same phenomenon after moving here. So what do you think? Does Grants Pass sound like the most charming river town in Oregon? Please leave your comment below, and if you'd like more information on Grants Pass, please visit my website at www.bufanohometeam.com, and while you're there, you can register for a home search, claim your free buyer or seller's guide, and much more. Feel free to reach out to me or my team if you're interested in moving to Grants Pass, and we would be happy to assist you. And once again, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my video, and please be on the lookout for more great content on the Hometown Hustle podcast, which is all about the incredible people who work and live here in Southern Oregon. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.